By growth, we mean essentially such changes as occur within the person as the natural consequence of a planned program of self-improvement, or such changes as come as the consequence of an unfolding inner conviction, which formally or non-formally becomes the basis of an inevitable unfoldment of character. Thus, we consider growth to be improvement of character rather than merely change. This is one of the problems that we face socially and in world affairs today. There are a great many persons who consider change for its own sake to be desirable. Sometimes this can be defended, but more usually we substitute the concept of change for the concept of progress, and the terms are not synonymous.
This is me. Who am I? Absolutely nobody. That's not the point. And I'm not really the subject of this video at all. I'm still just, with the content I'm going to start creating, I'm still trying to, play around with things and figure out what the nature of my videos are going to be. So, this is just one of the many things of me just mixing it up and trying to adjust and make, make better quality videos, even though I don't have much in the way of equipment. Now, I haven't progressed. Hasn't been much improvement as far as having a webcam or a better mic or anything like that. But you know what I mean. I'm trying. But the actual subject of the video I wanted to touch on was self-improvement and personal growth. Because I think people don't stress enough how important self-improvement and personal growth is.
You need to have muscles. You need to have muscles on your muscles. You need to have muscles on your eyeballs. Ew.
And when I say self-improvement, I guess you could, it's synonymous with personal growth. And what I mean by self-improvement in particular, and in any facet really, whether you're studying, if you're painting, if you're an artist, self-improvement is so important. And for instance, like working out, working out, if you work out and you take the time to really invest in working out and getting healthy, you're naturally going to get healthier, and you're going to build muscle. It's going to improve so many other areas of your life, and it's going to be concrete. However, I think the importance in it isn't necessarily just in the concrete benefits it applies to your life. I think actually it's the attitude you adopt when you decide you're going to work out, you're going to improve yourself and get into fitness. It's a focus, it's a discipline, it's an attitude, and it's focused attention. And I believe it has so many, just adopting that mindset and taking that on has so many other benefits in your life. And also it helps develop character, because I think it, it, like I said, in hand in hand with personal growth. With that personal growth, you develop as a character, and I guess you could say you avoid a lot of the pitfalls in life, because like what you have, you see it so often. You see so many people who are underdeveloped. They're undeveloped in maturity. They're apathetic. They you see that, and you see it more in men than you see it in women. But you see so many men and these people in their day-to-day lives, they fall into this kind of apathy where they don't really have much ambition or motivation to aspire to do anything, much of anything. They just go day to day, and they just are content with just making a living. Like, and that's not, like, it's not to belittle that, because I mean, especially nowadays, making a living is important, and it's not to be, I guess you consider it like, it's not to be looked down on and scoffed at. However, many of us do more than just make a living, and many of us live either above our means, or we could live in a much better means if we actually apply to self, which kind of goes hand in hand with the self improvement and personal growth. But you see so many people, and they just fall into this apathy, and then they always feel, you can tell whether they admit it or not, they feel like there's something lacking in their life, and then that apathy kind of hurts them in so many other areas, and then many will pass that kind of attitude on to their kids, and the kids fall into they follow suit, they fall into the same pitfalls. But if you were to get into some kind of pursuit of self-improvement, whether, like I said, whether it's studying, whether it's working out, if you're an artist, you know what I mean, in any way, that attitude is so important, it's so helpful. Just adopting that attitude, and then, like I said, like my other video, it helps with discipline. You can build discipline, helps you focus, it helps your attention. There's so many reasons why self-improvement is so good, and also why it's totally different from change. And just because, like, Mr. Hall said prior, many confuse change with progress or growth, and they're not synonymous, they're not exactly the same, because many have that assumption that as you grow, or as time goes on, you're going to gain more experience, you're going to have more things happen to you, and naturally you're just going to develop and improve as a human being, you know what I mean, your character and stuff. And there, to an extent, that is true, but when you look at it, ultimately, it's not entirely true, because you're going to go through, you're going to go through a lot of things, you're going to go through a lot of experiences in life, but if you don't take the time to reflect upon these experiences and figure out what went wrong, what you did right, how this affects you overall, you know what I mean, like what does this mean, if you don't take that kind of self-reflection on those experiences, you really gain nothing. I won't say nothing, you gain little from them, because there are in many ways where you can change, and it's not positive. And then I think that's kind of like the key to self-improvement, like in the word improvement, and personal growth. I think improvement and growth, when you're looking at it towards yourself, it's almost always a positive thing. And so I think to consider something, any kind of change in your life or from experience, to consider it as self-improvement or improvement or progress, I think it kind of like it has to be positive, and I think it will almost always be positive. Now, there's varying perspectives on what can be positive and negative, but I think generally, when you're looking at it, you can basically categorize a lot of changes and things with like a positive alignment or a negative alignment. I think overall you can do that. So for instance, now you could change, let's say you had a hard life, you grew up in a impoverished and had a hard time growing up, and you can become, let's say, you know what I mean, you become hardened, you become cold-blooded, cold-hearted, and street smart and whatnot, and you become a criminal. Now, you certainly can it certainly will benefit, it can benefit you. You become criminal, and you learn the ways of, whatever that life involves. and you can benefit from that. However, I think it would be hard to argue that being criminal and criminal activities, harming people, and acts that would be in that realm, it would be hard to call those positive. Like I think, if you know what I mean, the majority of people looked at it and they will say that's a negative alignment, even if it it brought some positivity to your life. For instance, on the other hand, if you could have grown up with the same background, but you decided to become more kind, more compassionate, you tried harder, you found a way to not only help yourself but other people, you know what I mean? Because your compassion grew, you understood what the life was like. So now you try to improve other people's lives, and then in that kind of um, I guess you could say humanitarian attitude, or um, uh, I guess selfless attitude. You could align that um, uh, positively. Now, and there's some negativity because maybe you could get screwed over, or you can get hurt, or it ends up putting you behind in some way. So maybe that's a negative thing. But generally, you would call that positive. I think that's the difference. One, I think, would be self improvement or personal growth. The other would just be change. And so that was like, the whole, this is basically the subject I wanted to cover on the video. You know what I mean? And then like I said, the nature of the video, I wanted to try something different, and I'm in, starting another journey of getting back in shape and self improvement. Because it's been like a year since I've like really been in the gym, and then these are old videos and whatnot of me working out. So you know what I mean? I just posted them because I'm going to touch all kinds of areas until I find a sweet spot, what kind of content I really want to create. But regardless of what content I create, I want it to be informational. You know what I mean? I definitely want to entertain, but I want it to be informational because I feel like if whatever wisdom or experience I've acquired through my life, you know what I mean, I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like I'm some philosopher, or I'm just as dumb as the next person. But if there's anything, any kind of information or wisdom I've acquired, I'd like to share it, and that would be the main idea of this channel. You know what I mean? Because I feel like if I could benefit anyone, even just motivate, like I said, if I go into completely the fitness route and I could motivate someone like that, that's what I ultimately wanted to do with the channel, to help some people. You know what I mean? And entertain. But yeah, that's pretty much the video. Catch y'all later.